Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews.
And if you like listening to audiobooks, click the link in the description for a free 30-day trial with Audible. And while you're online, go ahead and do some shopping and use that Rakuten link so that you can get a $10 credit.
And before we get started with our Married at First Sight review, please join us this Friday as we be interviewing David from Ready to Love. We know that Ready to Love just ended a couple of weeks ago, but we have a great interview for you this week with David from Ready to Love. Also, if you missed our interview with Rashid last week, make sure you click the link and check that out as well.
All right, 2 weddings for today.
2 weddings for today, 3 down from last week, and we got 2 weddings today, and both weddings were interesting.
To say the least.
To say the least. To say the least.
So we start where we ended with Chris and Paige.
Yes, start with Chris and Paige.
And Chris is seeing Paige walk in.
See Paige just walk in, and when he sees her, he gives an expletive.
Yes.
And he gives an expletive about what he sees about Chris. About Paige, I thought the expletive was in a good way, but, you know, hats off to my wife where she knew that it wasn't a good expletive.
I felt that. I was like, I don't think it's not good. It's not what he expected. It's not what he expected. And we find that out later. We'll get to that though.
Yeah.
But like Chris's dad is feeling her. He's like, oh, she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. And the mom was like, yeah.
Chris's dad is feeling her more than one way or the other. I'm going to go there. I don't know about anybody else. Y'all let me know in the comment section. I got some creepy vibes from Chris's dad. Chris's dad was like, man, if I wasn't married, if I was younger, if this wasn't Chris, boy, she's stacked. Man, she is banging. Look how beautiful she is.
Yeah, I was like.
And I'm sitting there like, dog, this dude is really, that's your daughter-in-law. Matter of fact, she could be your daughter.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, just at the wedding, you might not get all of that, but as we continue through, like, I was like, Chris's dad is...
He's really feeling Paige.
Okay. So, we see that, we pointed out last week, that Chris's friend, Pastor Dwight, is doing the ceremony.
Yeah.
Which, again, we don't know for sure, but we feel like this is one of the first times it's been somebody that they know.
Somebody they know, yeah.
Somebody that they picked. And we didn't know that was allowed, but okay, that's cool.
He's his own dog.
And not in a bad allowed way, but okay.
He got a paycheck, and hopefully, for doing the wedding. He get notoriety for his church, and people can want to figure out who is Pastor Dwight.
That's true. So the part that we tripped off is like, okay, Chris, meet Paige. Paige, meet Chris. So question is, when did Pastor Dwight find her name out? Has he been holding this for a few days? Or did he find out before the wedding started? Yeah,
and I mean, he got whatever way it is, he got a lot of strength for not to tell Chris her name.
Absolutely.
That's his boy. They're friends.
Absolutely.
And so he had enough integrity, which I wouldn't know from a past, to have integrity and character to be able to hold this in and not give Chris a glimpse or anything of who Paige was.
Yeah, especially like I said, since they so cool.
Yeah, they so cool.
Just like his pastor brother. Yeah, I was like, this is interesting. I want to know. But anyway, so we start off with what the family and friends have to say about the spouse. Mm-hmm. And so Paige's family and friends say that she's Christ conscious. She's passionate. She's intentional about life. She's a risk taker. She's adaptive. And she's a hard worker. And she strives for the best. They said that she still holds the record for the 200-meter dash at her college.
And if she takes off running, Chris ain't going to catch her.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. And that she loves hard. And we got that impression from talking to Paige.
Yeah, we got that. You can tell that she loves hard. And she really wants this to work. Just from the beginning of the wedding, she's committed to the process. Even when her brother and her mother was asking her questions on the last episode, when she announced to them that she was getting ready to go through this process, she wants to be married. She wants somebody to have kids with. She wants somebody to share her money with. She wants a husband that she can kind of submit to, and she also wants a man that she can be a freak in a sheet with.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. So Chris's friends and family have to say about him that he's a hard worker. He's on his way to building an empire. Mm-hmm. He likes nice things. He's dying to spoil his wife one day because he likes nice things. So he wants to shower her with nice things. which all of those just seem kind of materialistic and shallow at first. But then they did bring in the fact that his top priority is God and family. He wants a big family, and he's open to the idea of a honeymoon baby.
Yeah, which means he wants to get it in that night.
He's a dreamer, and he desires to be loved wholeheartedly. And as far as being a dreamer, you might have to pull him back into reality. But
But I mean, most entrepreneurs are dreamers. I mean, so that's not a bad thing. Most entrepreneurs are dreamers. They have a new idea, a new dream, a new business, a new thing to come up with, and that they want to be able to make it to come to fruition. So it's a good thing to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And to have somebody to reel you in, because you reel me in.
Yeah.
Because
sometimes when you deal with a dreamer, you have to be like, hey, okay, reality check, boo. I appreciate your enthusiasm, your aspirations, but this is where we are right now. And so they would he needs somebody to do that with him sometimes, which makes sense.
I'm glad I got somebody to reel me in.
So as far as the vows, Chris said that he wanted to write genuine and substantive vows with some substance.
Yeah.
And so he said he started with a question. And his question was, where have you freaking been all my life?
Where you been all my life? And people laughed and they were like looking like, what? But I understood what he meant by when he said that. He would like to know, you're finally here, we're finally together. I've been looking for you. I've been through this relationship, this worked, that didn't work. I need you in my life, and I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he shared that, he plans to be vulnerable. That he's gonna cover her in prayer, and they want to grow to love and share his closet space with her.
Yeah,
because he got a lot of stuff, which the family and friend kind of.
I think she got a lot of stuff too, so I don't know shit. But the whole cover in prayer, I want to cover you, and look, he's good with words. I don't know him. I'm just going off what we see. I'm not going off of what we heard so far. I mean, what the dirt sheets are saying, rumors are saying, dirt sheets is something else. What the rumors are saying, not there, but what we see so far. Chris has a some things that he has to work on, some things he has to deal with. He's speaking good, he's talking good. Let's see if he can fulfill what he's saying. Because we talked about all the time. There's people who say a lot of vows on this show at the beginning, and they mean good. I don't think anybody write their vows and don't mean this stuff. They mean good, but because of life situations and things that happen, can he fulfill what he says in the vows?
Yeah.
That's the thing I want to see. Can you fulfill? I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna cover you. I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna treat you right. Can he fulfill those things?
Yeah. We shall see. So Paige's vow. So I want to say that I feel like no doubt that he'll cover her in prayer. I think he's genuine in that. Some of the other things, depending on how he's feeling her, may or may not come to fruition. But I genuinely I get the sense that both of them, they're really lovers of God, and but
I think they're rooted and grounded in God. Yeah. I really do believe they're rooted and grounded in the prayer, and rooted and grounded in the, as he mentioned later, fasting. And so he's rooted and grounded in biblical principles. Being rooted and grounded in biblical principles and actually doing those on a regular basis is two different things. Yeah. And we're not trying to get into a religious debate or conversation, but it's different. A lot of people are rooted and grounded in a lot of things that they don't practice.
Yeah.
Continually. And I don't know what salvation, I don't know what salvation and what he's into. I'm just saying, I just hope he continue those. Yeah.
So as far as Paige, again, same thing we're talking about. Paige says in her vows, I believe that God brought us to this moment. I've dreamed about this day. God showed it to me. And I want to love, honor, respect, trust you, will lean on God. And she said, I pray that this is our happily ever after.
And that may be her prayer. And that's the way she has it. It could be in this instance, and it could not be. But again, they have to put the work in.
Yes,
it's good. You can have all the vows, that's fine and dandy, but you're gonna have to put work in, even if God put it together. There's gonna be some work that you need to do. Yeah. I don't want to get too far ahead with the whole situation with them, but you have to do your own work.
Yes. And so after they do the vows, they went through everything with Pastor Dwight, and he says, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. And my husband thought, he was like, oh, look. He asked, he says, can I kiss you? forehead or cheek. And she's like, no, you can kiss me like on the lips. I told my husband, I said, I think if he was really attracted to her, I know about the gentleman aspect and all that. If I feel like up front, if he was attracted, he'd just be like, let me kiss her. Because he know that she gonna... That was my other side that I was like, he's not 100 about it.
I feel maybe he was being nice. He didn't know how she was gonna react. He wanted to get this thing started off on the right foot. So because she didn't make a move. So she didn't make a move. He said, well,
you're supposed to kiss your bride, not your bride kiss you.
We kiss each other.
Yeah, but the man, normally they come to the wife to give you. You bring your face to mine.
We had several kisses.
What they say is, you may now kiss your bride, not you may now kiss your husband.
Well said, touche. Yes. So he should have kissed. He should have kissed her, but he asked. He did ask. He said he wanted to be respectful in that manner. Can I kiss you on your forehead? Kiss you on the cheek? Where would you like me to kiss me? And she's like, you can kiss me on the lips. And he went in for a kiss. He didn't
say lips. She said you can kiss me.
He didn't hesitate. He went in.
He didn't.
So again, his attraction might have been there, and then he might, you know what? If I kiss her now, and there's some kind of spark, maybe I can start working on this honeymoon baby later. I'm just the mind of a man. The mind of a man. You're starting early, so you can get the payday later.
Maybe. So we see them leave the wedding, and they go to the little spot they have set up for them so they can chit chat or whatever. And Chris says, I think she's beautiful. She got a nice shape.
Yeah.
Like her smile lights up the room. Like he's like, okay, I'm feeling the shape, the smile. And he said, I got a bunch of questions to ask you. I got a bunch of questions.
She's like, go ahead.
So they talk about, what do you do for work? She's an accountant, which she says that's good because I heard about your spending habits.
I'm gonna help you out, bro.
I'm gonna help you reel that in. Or not, or whatever. Just make it feasible for us. She says that's something that needs to be discussed. She also tells him that she's a realtor, and he shares that he's the youngest owner of a particular franchise in Atlanta.
If you don't know what the franchise is, it is Subway. He owns a Subway in Atlanta.
And that he's in the process of flipping a house. He's bought a house. He's in the process of flipping a house. She talks about the fact that she has a house that she bought. She's a realtor. So look at that. We can do that too.
Another connection.
And then they talk about tattoos. And how many tattoos do you have? She says, I have 3. And he says, I have 1. And she was like, yeah, because the gift you sent me, the infinity, see, I have the infinity thing here. What's the coincidence? Right. And he was like, well, yeah, see, I got a tattoo right here. And it's, he said it was a crown.
Yeah.
Like the crown of glory. Jesus crown.
Yeah.
And okay. And I was like, oh, wow. And he said, oh, I actually just got this a few days ago. So I'm like, bruh, you talking about a tattoo, like, you talking about new tattoo.
Yeah,
interesting about the tattoo.
Interesting about the tattoo is that the crown is new, but it's not his first tattoo. Because he had a tattoo of his ex-fiance's name on him. Look, newsflash. Don't tattoo anybody's name on you.
I mean, do what you want to do, buddy.
Do what you want to do. I just have a philosophy. Unless it's your kids, anybody can walk in and out of
your parents.
Or your parents. Anybody can walk in and out of your life. Now,
siblings.
Now you have to deal with that. But anyway, Chris tattooed his ex's name on him.
He said they got matching tattoos. They both got tattoos when they was together.
No.
And so he got the crown to cover it up, which, that made her eyebrow go up.
Because he wanted to just get, he said he wanted, this is what we saw editing. I hope he didn't stop there. Because he wanted to start new. What he could have said that even wouldn't even been no issue. I got my ex name tattooed off me or covered up because I want to make sure that we started off in a good light. That I didn't want to have any baggage from my old relationship when I come into this new marriage with you, because in this new marriage with you, it's all about you. Yeah. That's what he should have said, and her mind would have been at ease, because when her face was looked at, when you saw her face when he said X, you're like, oh, X? Hold on, tattoos. Then because he goes on again to talk about his ex several more times, talking about the dogs.
Yes, because we talk about dogs, and Paige says she has a Morkie. And I forgot what the Morkie is mixed of. It's a Yorkshire Terrier and something. And so he says, she asked if he likes dogs, and he says, so my ex had a dog.
Red flag.
She had a Yorkie.
Yeah, you're married. You just got married, and you didn't mention your ex twice.
She said, I'm not feeling it. He keeps bringing his ex up, the comparisons with his ex, which is not direct comparisons, but it's like, oh, you got a dog? My ex had a dog.
By the way, yeah.
You got a tattoo? Oh, me and my ex got tattooed. So it's not really comparison, but it's just throwing her name out there. She's like, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like it.
But
it's not me.
He's being honest.
He is.
But he could have left. He could have said both of those statements without using the word ex. So he's digging a hole. He was digging a hole for himself early. Because he's also honest. He tells her, about their relationship. He tells her that he was in a relationship. He was engaged up to 3 months ago, and that they ended the relationship because of trust issues.
Yes.
Because of trust issues. He didn't say on which side. He just said some trust issues.
But he said both.
He said both sides.
We had problems trusting each other.
Trusting each other. So now you're married. You talked about your ex a couple times. You've been engaged just 3 months ago. And you expect me as your wife to be ready for this process and to be able to, I'm going to use his words, submit to you.
Yeah.
And knowing that you have just been in a relationship, you done dumped that. And I know how long this process takes in order for us to get to the point where we're at now. So you fresh off your engagement and now we're married. She has some reservations right now within 15, 20 minutes to an hour of being married with this dude. It's like, dog, really? And I my hat's off to him because his dad says too, he's an honest guy. He's not going to lie. He's going to tell you what he feels. And my hat goes off to Chris. I think the way, if he would have worded it right and the context he put it in, I'm letting you know all this. So when as we get into this marriage, there is no baggage. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not covering up anything. I want you to know. There's nothing I don't want you to know that I want you to find out. While we married. So I'm giving you everything now. Now he could have waited till the night after or even on a honeymoon. But he's giving it to her now because they first met. Yeah. And I understand that.
But the dad said that's how Chris is. He's straight up, straightforward. I guess I would say Chris is like one of my children. So one of my children, guess what? They gonna tell you the truth. I know it ain't right. Yeah. I know I'm gonna get in trouble.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I got one child. Like
and whatever consequences you give me, I take.
Yeah, they don't like the consequences.
They don't like the consequences.
But
they don't like.
But one thing I know is he gonna be like, you know what? I did it. Okay. Yeah. So she asked him and wants to make sure, are you holding on to some things? Like, this is very close. And he says, yeah, it was hard for me to get through, but I got through it. I'm over it. It's not an issue. I want to be upfront and honest with you. And she's like, well, it raises a red flag. It's some conversations we're going to have about it. Little do she know. It's going to be some conversations that we're going to have about it. But he says right now he's happy and excited for where he is. And he's ready for the journey.
And again, religious background conversation. I've worked with my pastor about it, and we have talked about some things. And the church talk, I'm delivered. I no longer have any baggage. I no longer have any issues. I've been set free from this thing. The chains are broken. See, he could have, if he would have told her all that, you got to speak her language. Yeah. She's a church girl. Yeah. So she'd have heard these things. So if he says that to her, I think that the red flag is no longer red, but maybe yellow. It's like, okay, look.
Maybe yellow.
Maybe yellow. But I've done this. So it's red flag because he didn't really say I'm delivered from or I'm finished with it. So he could have went into detail. Yeah. That's my issue. Detail would have helped him tremendously.
Yeah. When they go to the reception, his dad welcomes her to the family. And but before he does that with her, Chris meets with his dad and his groomsmen. And again, that's what dad was like, man, she bad.
Bad dad, she bad.
She bad. She got... He said everything except she got a donk.
Yeah.
He's like, man, she bad. She got a nice shape, bruh. Woo. Son, trying to tell you. If you don't want it.
Yeah, that's what he said, dog. I was like, Pops, what you doing? And my mind goes like, man, Pop's a preacher too, right?
I thought.
Yeah, see, dog, give him preachers a bad name. Give him preachers a bad name. I'm just saying. Not good. Lusting over your son's wife. Man, but lusting over your son's wife.
Paige met his mom, and talks to her, for a brief second, and she said that right now she doesn't feel connected to him. he seems a little bit nervous. He's not really looking at her. She's kind of feeling that vibe, so she don't feel connected. You know, they were taking pictures.
He wasn't getting close. Looking at her.
Yeah, he wasn't really looking at her. He did look nervous in the pictures, like, okay, Chris, what's going on? That's why, again, I said, I feel like he's not really feeling her.
And then he's not, but then we get a cutaway. Mm-hmm. And he says he's not really feeling.
He said, well, you jumped ahead. So, as we get past the pictures, and they had the first dance.
Yeah.
Paige says they did less dancing and more talking. Mm-hmm. They did do a lot of talking and interacting. And the one thing I noticed too when they talked at their little chit chat immediately after the wedding is he was like, interesting. So when they was dancing, she's talking and he was like, interesting. And he was like, interesting. He was like, yeah, I use that word a lot. So it's not trying to brush you off.
But he's processing.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. That's what he says. That's his word.
That's his word. That's the way he's processing. He's listening. Okay.
That's like his
That's like his enter button on the keyboard.
Yeah, and so yeah, he does say later when he talks to her friends, because it's a point where, you know, each bride and groom, they talk to the friends and family in the reception. And he does say there, I'm not 100% attracted to my wife.
Yeah.
He explains to his friends, her friends rather, that she's the woman that I needed, but not that I haven't wanted. Right. Not that he said that he doesn't want her, but he hasn't wanted. He says, I'm used to the ritzy, glitzy, pretty girl. You know,
the trophy wives.
The trophy wife. And he was like, Paige's not a trophy wife. And her friend was like, wait a minute. Paige is a trophy wife. But go ahead.
What he was saying was, I don't want anybody who just sits at home and look glitz and glamour all day. Oh, I could just wish she's ready to go out and just be on my arm. He was saying, I want someone who's working towards something like I'm working towards, who is a baller like me. And we see that Paige is a baller. She's working. She's an accountant. She's a real estate agent. She's making moves. She has money. He doesn't want somebody just to be on his arm, but he wants someone to be able to put in work. Let's put in perspective. He wants like a Kim Kardashian. She's pretty looking to some people. All right, into your opinion, each his own. I'm just using for example. She's a pretty woman, and along with Kanye. And they both are ballers. Or Jay-Z and Beyonce. She doesn't just sit at home and let Jay-Z make the money. She makes some as well. So, or you know, there's a give and take there. They're both attractive people. They both can stand on their own, but they're better together. That's what he was saying. Her friend, I don't think he explained it that way. Again, his explanation skills kind of suck.
Why don't they?
But she didn't pick up on it either.
Well, yeah, and I think maybe she didn't understand. Maybe outside of him explaining it, she doesn't know what a trophy wife is.
Right.
Because everybody knows a trophy wife is just that pretty girl that she don't do nothing. She might not be all that smart. She looks good on your arm. You're only getting her because she looks good on your arm.
And she wants your money.
And she wants your money. She gonna do it up. She gonna have the personal stylist, the makeup artist, the hair person come into her, you know, she gonna let you shower her in all the gifts, and she ain't gonna give you nothing. That's what a trophy wife is. And so I don't want to say that. We kind of got that vibe from Chris, having a hint of his ex. Yeah.
It doesn't match up with what he's used to. She's not like his typical person that he would date.
But the one thing he did say is he's not saying that she's not beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just not what he typically goes for. And what I said to my husband was, I hope he really understands that. It's like, because you get into Married at First Sight because you need to get away from your norm.
Right, because your norm.
You've had a hard time picking.
And your norm hasn't gotten you to marriage.
Yes.
Your norm hasn't gotten you to marriage. So you're asking the experts to help you and may not be out of norm. We see Doug definitely wasn't Jamie's norm.
At all.
But look how look how they're compatible and look how they're still married to this day. So it's a lot of things that may not be one that you're physically attracted to, but emotionally and mentally and what you need could be what she presents to him.
Yeah. And so at the table, I'm going back a little bit because the friends is after this, but at the table they have a conversation or whatever. She talks to him about his job and how he got into it, whatever. And he tells her his homeless story.
Yeah.
How he was homeless, how he moved from here to there, and I had to pick between a rental car and rent for an apartment. And so I lived in my car for 3-4 months until, you know, I basically got a break.
Yeah.
That he said he was looking for that big check. Once I got that big check, once I got that one big check, I knew I'd be good. And I think he said he got a $12,000 check, but that was that when he came back to Atlanta though?
I think when he came back.
And so they talk about the engagement, what happened with that. They didn't trust each other. He felt like he didn't have her undivided attention. And he said he had a bad ego. His ego was bad. And so he's done better with that. So we quickly go from that to, I feel like Chris is sex crazed. Because then here we go. Here we go. Are you a virgin?
No. She's like, where do you get that from?
I'm just asking because I'm a great teacher. I'm just trying to find out. He says, are you affectionate? Yes. I'm affectionate. Do you have a high sex drive?
She's like, well, I'm not going to answer that right now.
He was like, you know, I've answered every question that you've asked me. You know, so
like, you know,
she was like, I'm not going to answer that. But she did acknowledge
that if she liked it.
But no, she said, you make me feel comfortable.
If you make me feel comfortable.
No, not if. She says, you make me feel comfortable.
Yes.
Which means that, you know, I could probably go there with you.
I could rock with that.
Yeah. And then the question.
Are you on contraception? Basically, are you taking birth control pills? Are you anything that prevents you from getting pregnant? Do I have to use a condom? Now, if you know anything about Paige, Paige said, and when they was doing the first episode, she doesn't like to use condoms. So if you don't like to use condoms and you're not on birth control pills, what do you think is going to happen? There's only two possible things that can happen. One, either you can catch a baby. Two, catch a baby, that's right. Two, you can catch a disease if the person you're messing with has a disease. So either way, depends on how you look at it. Nothing good, if you're not ready for children, can come from that.
No. And I was like, oh man.
But again, she said he has to show papers. So let's see if before they get it in, because I guarantee you they're going to get it in.
But this is my concern.
Oh, and she going to make him show papers.
But this is my thing. He asked her, was she on contraceptives? What he doesn't know that we do know is that she doesn't like using condoms. This is my thing. Honey. If you're not going to make him use a condom, the least you could do is be on some kind of contraceptive.
Something.
So you set yourself up to get pregnant.
By somebody, let's say in this case it's her husband, but if she was out there doing what she do.
She was out there. She wasn't married before. So that's what she was out there doing. So, honey. But anyway, again, with the deep spiritual beings that they are, Chris said that, you know, I fasted 3 days prior to this because, you know, my fallback has been, you know, he didn't say I'm a sexual person, but I usually, you know, help myself out by masturbating. And so during this fast, I didn't do that. I want to come in pure and clean with a pure mind.
For 3 whole days. For 3 whole days. For 3 whole days. He sustained for 3 whole days. Abstained for 3 whole days.
From pleasuring himself.
So he can be ready for his wife. Great commitment, Chris. Great commitment, dog. You showed them. Good commitment. But anyway. She was like, hey, okay, cool.
No, she was like,
Right. Hey, I'm not knocking. Look, each his own. He's doing what he feels that he needs to do to get ready for this marriage. I mean, if that means he has to not touch himself or control his sexual desires for 3 days, that's fine. Knowing that he may have to control his sexual desires longer because she may not give it to him. He don't know. He's going into unknowns. He didn't know if she was going to give it up on the first night. He didn't know if she was going to give it up on the week. He didn't know if she was going to be like Iris, and he never gets it. Didn't know if he, or has to wait for like a Karen and wait till the show is over. So he doesn't know. He was just preparing himself.
I get that. My thing is, sir, you should be able to go a few days, period, besides fasting, without that, without getting some sex. You don't, to me, that shows a lack of self-control and discipline.
Hey.
Because this is the thing. Married men, when after your wife have a baby, the doctor say, no, for 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
I'm not saying that a man should abstain for 6 weeks. I mean, if you got to pleasure yourself, but a strong man, like, since it's not all about sex with them, they not necessarily having sex with my wife, not necessarily masturbating. Come on, grown man, come on, get some control. Anyway,
self-control.
That's just me.
Yeah,
you might think different. I think
Chef is up. You could be able to have self-control. It's self-control, dog.
Because this sounded like to me like this is something he do every day.
Like on a regular basis.
Like regularly. If I can't get none, then I'm giving myself some.
I'm going to take this again. Chris feel comfortable. Again, his honesty. He feel comfortable with her to explain and talk to her about this. I'm not knocking his comfortability.
No.
I'm not knocking his truthfulness, his honesty.
No.
I'm just maybe his timing.
Yes.
Is not the best.
And I don't know, that might be a little bit too forthright.
She looked like it was too much.
Yes.
She looked like you giving me too much right now to handle.
Yes.
And we've just known each other for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yes.
So, we eating dinner, dog. The steam is coming off your broccoli, and we're talking about
everything he asked was like sexual, but so we look at the toast. His dad gives a toast. He said he had prayed for somebody. Well, first of all, he starts off with all the stuff we've been hearing already for Chris.
Yeah.
He's accomplished and he's done this and he, I'm so proud of him. He's, he's an entrepreneur. Okay. But then the dad said, I prayed for someone that would come into his life. Basically, because just like Chris, he said, I'm ready for grandkids. I'm ready for Chris the Third and Crystal.
More than he know. More than he know.
Chris get it from his daddy. That's all I can say.
He gets from his dad. Dad is smooth talking, dog.
Even when Paige sits down at the table with his mom and dad, they talk, and the mom, she asked for some advice, and the mom said something, and I was like, thank you. It was substantial.
Mm-hmm.
What I would say is, don't go days, months, weeks without talking, being mad at each other. Fix it. Resolve the issue. Don't stay mad.
Mm-hmm.
His dad's advice was, when my son comes home and he's worked all day, he wants a woman to be there to be intimate with him. Don't be going no month without giving him some.
He was throwing shade at his wife. Y'all can say what he wants, because if you look at her, go back to the clip when he said it, she looked away like once in a while. And she said once in a while. He was throwing shades, which means
she was like, here you go.
Again, totally. And nothing wrong with having sex with your wife. Nothing wrong with the consistency if you guys have it, whatever it is. But they just met each other.
Yes.
This is your first time meeting her.
Yes.
This is not like y'all known each other for years and months. You're just having now a conversation with this young lady about, I need you to please my son, and I need you to please my son daily.
I don't even know what his favorite color is yet. I don't know what size shoe he wears. Matter of fact, I don't even have his phone number yet. I don't know his middle name. Yeah, I don't have his phone number. When's his birthday? Anyway.
Yeah, keep moving.
So, we talked about Chris meeting Paige's friends, and once they talked to Chris, Paige talks to her friends, and her one friend she had pretty hair with her locks up in the rose petals.
Red flag.
The engagement threw her off. Mm-hmm. She asked the same thing as Paige. Are you sure you're ready for this process? Are you clean and clear? And she expresses to Paige, that's my concern.
Mm-hmm.
That's my concern. And then you just got out of this, and you so hung up on the honeymoon, baby. honey, take your time with him.
Make sure it works.
Yeah.
Make sure it's gonna work out before you get in a situation. So I think that's one of the things that her friends got was like, dog, we like him.
Mm-hmm.
He says the right things.
Mm-hmm.
But be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful.
Yeah, be careful. And he says that he's not 100. Again, we said this before. He's not one. He says to her friends, again, she's what I needed, not necessarily what I've wanted. And he says off camera, I'm not 100% attracted to my wife. But he says he needs to find out what can attract him to her.
Yeah.
And what excites him the most, he shares with the friends, is the honeymoon baby. But he's trying to find out what he can be attracted to.
And we see him later on when he comes to snatch her up from when she's talking to her friends. He's like, yo, you've
had her all her life.
You had her all life. Let me have her now.
Yes.
And I'm saying it from my chest. When my chest stuck out, I'm proud of her to be my wife. Come on, wifey, let's go. So he says the right things, and he does the right things, and he's honest about that. So
yeah. And so later on, they go to the suite for their wedding night. He does help her out her dress. Again, he remarked on her shape. She got a donk.
He said when she came out with the pajamas, whoo, good.
He said, she got a donk. But he did say this, which I liked. He said he's growing more attracted to her as they talk. And seeing her in the PJs.
Yeah, he said we're not gonna have sex tonight unless it happens.
Yeah, he doesn't expect sex.
He doesn't expect sex tonight.
But
hey.
Alright, so are we done with Chris and Paige?
We're done with Chris and Paige, but look, Chris needs some help. Paige needs to, I'm not saying wake up, but she got some red flags, yellow flags, as she said, going on. This couple is going to be interesting going throughout the season. I think Chris and Paige will have some challenges in their relationship moving forward.
I do want to add this. Her friend made a point to say that Chris, in talking to him, she sees that Chris has a vision for his life. And the question is, does Paige fit into the vision that he has for his life? And she doesn't want Paige to just be fitting into his vision, that they could have something together. She doesn't just fit his mold.
Yeah, and that's key there, because everybody has different visions for their life when they get involved. Now your visions have to come together.
Yes.
And make it our vision. Again, we talk about
changing yourself just to fit in.
Yeah, don't change yourself.
What he expects.
What he or she expects.
Yes.
All right, but you have to come, and now we're getting a vision for our family, for our life, because we're together. We're one. The two are one, and that's what we're gonna go to.
Yes. All right. Last wedding. Awkward.
Yeah.
Awkward.
But she's not feeling him.
Awkward. Haley and Jacob.
Yeah. Haley.
Let's talk.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So she's in there getting ready for the wedding. Her friend asked her, does she want some mimosa or champagne? She was like, I want a shamosa. She want more champagne than the orange juice. She said, give me a little bit of orange juice. She's panicky. She said, my brain's not working. I can't believe this is happening. And the other thing is, I'm so used to being a bridesmaid that getting used to me dictating and talking about her wedding, it's hard for her. She's trying to get in the groove. She's just so used to being in the background.
And then she mentioned that she has 2 more weddings to do after hers.
Yeah.
That she's a bridesmaid.
My husband and I talked. I said, I don't know. I haven't known that many people in my life to get married that I've been in the wedding for.
Yeah, dog.
And we got friends, you know what I'm saying? But not that many. Not that many.
No, not that many. She's like 15, 16 in?
Yeah, that would be 16. Because I think she said 14 already.
Yeah,
so she
16?
got 2 more. 16, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And mind you, we got plenty of family.
Plenty.
So we got cousins and stuff. And we still ain't been in that many.
Yeah, I'm always bringing gifts though.
Maybe it's because we don't have that many people that we know get married. That's not true either.
Yeah.
But anyway, she says her problem is, again, she tends to write people off
quickly
without giving them a chance. She tends to write people off
without giving
them a chance. Keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. Stay right there. Put your thumb right there.
So we see Jacob talking to his groomsmen, and he said he's overwhelmed and he's nervous and he's probably more likely when he gets to the altar to that nervousness to come up some more. But he's feeling okay right now.
Yeah, and a lot of his nervousness is the fact that this process is accelerated.
Yes.
You got to pick your tuxedo. You got to get a guest list. You got to get in there. You got to get out. You got TV productions things to do. You have to talk to the cameras. You got to get your friends right. They film. You got cameramen around you. It is a stressful, long process for this day. Get to this moment, to get to this day, to get to the place where you can go down to the altar and say, "I do." Yes. So he's feeling the stress. Both of them are feeling the stress of the moment.
But he does say, as long as they're attracted to each other, and he's attracted to her, we should be fine. The one thing I noticed is, again, he's with his groomsmen. Maybe he's nervous eating. Like, I promise you, it looked like they had a whole meal. They were sitting there eating a whole meal.
Oh, they was hungry.
I don't know what time they got married, but he's like chowing down. And he said his one worry is that won't like dogs. Because he was like, my dog's not going nowhere. Yeah. He's got 3 big dogs.
And needless to say, she does like dogs. She has her own dog.
She has a dog herself. His friends said they're concerned that, he's so much about the 80s and the inside jokes. We're hoping that all of that little weirdness won't turn her off and drive her away.
Yeah, I don't know too many people about that who's really infatuated with the 80s still maintain it. Like, dog, that's 30 years ago. Yeah.
And so then they talk about, the wedding night, what's going to be the hats for the wedding night. And his friend says it can only be 2 outcomes for the wedding night. You either be in the friend zone or you make it to the end zone.
Or you make it to the end zone. Disagree with that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, disagree with that.
It could be neutral. You might not be in the friend zone, but you're definitely not in the end zone.
Not in the end zone.
We're still getting to know each other.
We're getting to know each other. That's it.
She says she's panicky again. She's got all kinds of stuff running through her head. And like you said, we find she's got a dog. Her dog is actually there.
Yeah, dog actually at the wedding.
But, in the suite. Yeah. I didn't see her at the actual wedding.
I think she might have, because if the other dogs were at the wedding and Virginia's dog was at the wedding, I can't imagine this dog not being at the wedding.
Unless she just didn't feel the need to bring it in.
But who watched the dog in the hotel room?
The dog.
The dog watched himself?
Yeah.
Not take my chances.
Lock the dog in the bathroom.
Not take my
chances.
Maybe
it's very well trained.
Maybe it's well trained.
Maybe it's very well trained. So, yeah. Jacob's brother John gives him some advice, and that's to be open and honest in your communication. Yeah. Just make sure you communicate with each other.
But I'm glad he said it, because Jacob doesn't like he communicate very well.
No.
He stuck to himself. He used to working in front of a computer.
He calls himself a hermit.
He's a hermit, yeah. So he doesn't communicate. He's not used to being around a lot of people where he has to communicate and stuff. So that's where one of the issues that he may have in his relationship with Haley.
And his friend Nathan says, this is what I'm going to recommend. Y'all get separate bathrooms. He said there are other things to fight over besides bathrooms. Get separate bathrooms. And he said, bro, give her choice. And then you default to whatever else. Basically, not just talking about the bathroom. But saying, be the type of person be the type of person that is giving and towards your wife. And
don't expect her to perform to your way, because remember, he's a hermit, and so she disrupts his kind of routine. So now you're gonna have to be. It can't always be your way. You're gonna have to become a compromise in here. Yes. And so now you're gonna have to give some things up. Now, I
know the word I was trying to say. Be accommodating to your
accommodate. Yes. It's not like Matt when he went down the hallway, got his own bathroom, his own
off the top.
Off the top. You got to have some kind of accommodations.
All right. So, as they're coming in, Jacob comes in, and the women on her side are like, okay, they kind of clap for him. They feeling him. Jacob makes a joke off the side about when my wife come down, I'm into a bigger nose. Right. If she don't have a big nose, I don't know. We might can work with that, but I like a big nose chick. But we chalked it up as his dry sense of humor. I mean, he might want a bigger nose. I don't think he does. But,
dry sense of humor.
Her friends and family have some words to. Oh wait, before she even comes in,
Dad hooks up.
She's still panicky. I don't know if I want to do it. Dad's like, the door's right there. We can go straight out.
And he was like,
do you need some liquor? I got the flask.
She's like, yep, give it here.
She's like, give it here.
And she took it to the head, dog.
Yeah, a couple of times.
She needed to get that liquid carriage up.
Yes. But ultimately, she does walk down the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
And they meet each other. He helps her up the steps because they had steps to go up to their little area. He helps her up the steps. But she's kind of looking at him like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the nerves or it's like, I'm not really that attracted to him.
I think it was that she really was attracted to him. When she saw him,
I think it was some of that too.
She was like, oh, this is who I have? Okay, I'm in it, but this is not.
Yeah, off the top. Yeah, no.
Not off top.
But so what the friends and family want to share, her friends and family, don't bring her flowers to make up with her.
Yeah.
Send her on a vacay.
Yep.
She has emotions, but you're going to have to pull it out of her. It's going to be hard to pull it out. And you can win her over by showing love for her dog. He was like, yes. She's got a dog. I like that. She's always going to be his yes girl. She's up for adventure. Mm-hmm. Always to help a friend in need and to help puppies.
I think based off of that, they have a lot of things in common. He likes to help. They both like dogs. Travel wise, he does travel for work, so he's been around places. Mm-hmm. So they're compatible based off what the friends say.
Yes. As far as Jacob's friends and family, they say he may look like a meathead on the outside, but inside he's a lovable nerd.
Yeah.
He loves his dogs. Ching Ching, they got the dogs. He's all in whatever he does.
Which means he's committed.
Yes. He does a lot of joking. He's really good at computers. He likes his retro video games and all things 80s. Oh, they let the cat out the bag.
And she didn't like that. She didn't like that too much. Her facial expression was like
kind of weird.
Kind of weird. She wasn't happy about that.
No. But then they go reading their vows. Mm-hmm. And this one, it's really awkward.
Yeah, because he starts reading and then he loses his place. He messes up. And it got awkward here. You know how you're reading sometimes and you're nervous and then you lose your place and you said, oh, wait a minute. It was awkward. And it was like
because he just like really stopped.
He stopped. He didn't try to find it. It was awkward because he's nervous. I think he's a little bit awkward. And she's like, who am I married? It's not like Bennett awkward because Bennett got Amelia and they're kind of awkward together. When you have one person who's real awkward and you got another person who's not as awkward, it makes it for bad relationship and bad TV. Mm-hmm. This was bad. It's like the little kid who says his speech at church and forgets. Bad.
Yeah, because then when it comes time for the kiss, he's like looking at her.
Yeah. He's not used to trying to make a move.
He's just looking at her.
Like
I was like, oh, this is weird. Can you like kiss me already if you're gonna do it? I think he was thinking, should I? Shouldn't I?
Goes back to my point.
Is she gonna like it?
That's why. That's why Chris asked. Proof in the pudding. He asked if Jacob would have like, do you mind me kissing you on your forehead, kissing your lips, whatever? It would have been okay. He should have asked.
Yeah, he just looked. Oh, and I forgot to say, in her vows, she promised to be optimistic and to be in there for it. She jokes in her vows. What team you like, what football team you like might be a deal breaker.
Because it better be Alabama. She didn't say it, but they talked about her going down to Alabama to visit her family. I don't know anybody, not too many people who from Alabama don't know like either Auburn or Alabama. Mm-hmm. And most people are Alabama fans.
Yes.
So, Alabama.
Yeah. But anyway, so they leave the wedding and they go off and head to the little chit-chat spot. And she was like, he's quirky. I can see that. Mm-hmm. They talked about the 80s stuff. Just looking at him, I see he's quirky. He's like, she's beautiful. She's majestic. Mm-hmm. I like her vibe. Like, he is all in on her looks. Her, not so much. She didn't say nothing about his looks.
Problem is, he's telling the camera and telling production. He's not telling her. Mm-hmm. And production even had to prompt her. I don't know if you caught it.
Yes.
To ask a question, to answer some things about him.
Yes.
Haley looked like she's shell-shocked.
Well, I mean, and I think she's still trying to come out of the panicky fog that she was in.
She's trying to process. She's shell-shocked.
Yeah. They talk about what they do for a living, that she's in medical sales, that he's in IT. They talk about what they eat. And he was like, I got a steak and egg diet. Yeah. And she was like, for every meal? Yep, every meal. She was like, yeah, no, we're going to have to change that.
We got to put the vegetables in that.
Yeah, because I like to eat everything. I'm well-traveled. He was like, he just got his passport. They talk later, you know, for the holidays. Her family knows you pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Either I'm gonna be there for Christmas or Thanksgiving. And one Thanksgiving she was in Stockholm. The other one she was somewhere else. Yeah. She does a lot of traveling.
Yeah, she's all over the place.
Yeah, when they go into the reception, Chris is like meets her bridesmaids. He's ready to get interrogated. Mm-hmm. He's ready for it.
Again, he's ready for the process.
Uh-huh.
He's ready to go through. I think the biggest issue with him is going to be their communication. Not that he's not going to be committed to her, not that he's going to try to be in tune to her, but it's going to be the communicate. He's not going to be able to communicate fully to his wants, his needs, and there it lies. They're going to have a problem. And hopefully she's able to communicate with him what she like and what she dislike about him or the things that she see, so they can try to get it together.
That's going to be a problem. Because her friends and family said you're going to have to pull.
You're
going to have to pull the emotions
and so
out of her.
You got a hermit, and you got a person who doesn't communicate well. Not going to work out.
Not good. One thing about them taking their pictures awkward. She looked like she didn't want. It was almost like Jamie and Doug. Like my husband said, you can almost compare a lot of these couples as you keep going on watching the show. Mm-hmm. You start comparing couples, and it was like Jamie and Doug. Like the photographer was like going for a slow kiss, and she was like, I don't know, not in front of my family and friends. And underneath that, I don't want to kiss him like that.
Right.
Underneath, that's what it was. I don't know if I want to kiss him like that. I'm just so awkward. They had an awkward first dance. Do you want me to lead? Do you want to lead? Do I lead? Oh, you want to spin? Oh, you're spinning. I'm spinning you. Oh, okay.
Too much thinking.
Yeah.
See, you got a guy who has, again, back at the program, he's a programmer. So everything's step by step by step by step. And so he doesn't know how to take the lead on a situation. And that's going to be a situation. That's going to be an issue as well. He has to learn how to take the lead. Mm-hmm. Even if it's wrong, take the lead.
Yeah, do something.
Do something.
Do something. We saw him not once telling Haley, but twice telling her brother, 3 times telling her mom, 4 times telling her dad.
Yeah.
About his weird house with the 70s angles and lines, and the beach in the back with the sauna, and the hot tub, and the pool, and the sand. He repeated the same thing. He is everybody.
He is proud of his stuff. Is
it pride or is he boring and he got nothing else to talk about?
No, he's proud because he did it. That's his house. That's his stuff. His domain.
He did say his dad was a carpenter.
Right. So the things that he built, he's proud of that. Now what happens? He has to understand. When I get into marriage, that's fine because she may not like the house. Mm-hmm. She may love you. She may care for you. Mm-hmm. She may even be down for your ride or die. She may not like the place you live because it is a man's house. Mm-hmm. It's a bachelor's pad. It doesn't have a woman's touch to it yet. Mm-hmm. That's why, in my opinion, when you have 2 houses, when you're married, you come together and get your own eventually. Yeah. So now you 2 both put into it. If it makes economic sense, it is. Because, again, transparent. You had your own home. I moved after we got married into your own home. And we transitioned and built a nice home together. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah.
And when you were in my home, I didn't make it feel like you were a visitor at my house.
Right. I had my little closet. My little space.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm just saying I wasn't like, give me my key.
Oh, yeah.
It's my house. It was never none of that. But anyway.
I had a key.
We see Haley and Jacob. She goes to talk to his friends and family at the reception, and they were like, "Are you ready for his nerdiness?" Because he is full blown nerd. We just want to brace you. Are you ready?
He's living in the 80s.
Are you ready?
He's living in the 80s.
Yeah. She talks to them about, just like she told Jacob, about her travels and how she likes to travel all over the place. She had shared with Jacob that her brother lived with her for several months. Like, so besides her brother, she hasn't had a roommate. So, having to get to live with somebody. And like I said, Jacob goes to talk to Haley's brother. And, he looks like, this guy's weird.
Yeah.
Her mom was very nice about it, and the dad, I think they, but her brother had the face like he is weird.
He's weird. That's the biggest thing that we take away from this thing is that the wedding was awkward. The conversations were awkward. Even when he helped her get her out of her dress or helped there, it was awkward. Just everything that they've done so far has been awkward. I dare to say they're worse than Henry and Christina awkward.
Yeah.
Cause this is,
I don't know.
Henry had perfect.
Off the top. I feel like they're neck and neck.
Okay.
But yeah, that's and that's the point too, where the producer had to prompt her when she was in there changing or whatever. She says, "Okay, what are you planning to do tonight?" She said, "I plan to pass out. I'm exhausted."
And he had plans of maybe getting a kiss.
I don't know, because he was perched in the bed like.
But he asked. He said, "My plans to get a kiss," because as the show was going off, he asked, "Can I get a kiss?" She's like, "Nah, that's okay." She did. She turned him down.
But he absolutely just laid in the bed off top, facing her side.
Right. With his
shirt off.
Hairy chest.
Shirt off. Just looking, and she's like,
"What do you want?" Right. It was weird.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm not saying he's a stalker, but it was like almost stalkerish.
Yeah.
Weird type awkwardness, and his personality is like a good dude. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But, good guy, but to her, she perceives him as being awkward, and she's probably like, "Why did you guys match me up with this?"
And you know what? No, I don't want to do generalizations. I don't want to do that.
Nope.
I'm gonna just say it like that. He is an IT guy.
He's an IT guy. He's a computer guy. Some computer guys are good. Some computer guys.
I don't always say good.
Computer guys can socialize.
Yes.
And are very sociable. And some computer
it's
guys
two extremes.
Are not as sociable. They into his work, and he's one of those guys right now who's not as sociable.
He works in IT all day long, and he comes home and gets on a computer.
He is who he is. He's awkward, and his computer's his best friend.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wanted to kiss. Wasn't going down tonight, buddy. Not happening.
Not happening. Not happening. No.
She was like, "Yeah, can you turn the lights out and let's blow the candles out."
And we see all our couples get to their room, and we didn't get too much from the other three couples, but we saw them get to their room, undressed, and have conversations and talk about each other. Richie and Eric have conversations, and they relax and talk. Brianna and Vincent sit there and have conversation and talk. And we also had there's a couple I missed. Brianna, Vincent.
You did Eric and Virginia.
Eric, Virginia, Brianna, Vincent.
Ryan and Claire.
Ryan and Claire sit there and talk. Claire has some issue with all the pins in her hair. Ryan was just sitting in the bed like, "Yo, you alright? What you doing in there?" Like, he didn't try to come help.
No.
At all. But, I guess he figured she got it.
I don't think he could have.
I don't think he could have either. So, I think she got it, and they talked about that. So, the couples are all settled into their hotel rooms. Their first night spending together married. If you know anything about Married at First Sight, it'll be the next morning. They'll talk to the families again and eventually go on their honeymoon. So, we're looking for a honeymoon time next week for Married at First Sight. Interesting episode, just like I said, dealing with Chris and Paige and dealing with Jacob and Haley. Two awkward weddings. Two very uncomfortable moments. A lot of uncomfortable moments between both marriages. Just see where they go from there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
It's going to be interesting to see.
And the preview for what's coming up this season.
Yeah.
Whew,
the preview for this season
it's
lit. Has a lot in it. This season, Atlanta, Married at First Sight, season 12. Look like there's going to be a lot of drama, and a lot of it surrounds Chris. Seems like a lot of it surrounds Chris.
Yeah, to be expected.
To be expected.
Well,
hey,
thank you for joining us.
Hey, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Make sure you don't miss any of our interviews or reviews. Make sure you hit that bell notification so anytime that we'll come on, you know that Jac and Glen is on.
Yep. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.